creates offense?
Defense.
What creates defense?
Offense.
No, the goalie in the back of the net.
It's been a half decade of dominance in the conference from this golf team, Thomas. You have them in the C tier. What are we doing?
I'm
4 out of the last
expecting
5
a
years they've won the
championship.
championship.
Talk about the present stuff. And, well, actually, I'm going to talk about the past right now.
At least if you're going to pick a trap game, pick the right ones.
Little fast footwork. I know your feet don't move that fast, Becky.
Pretty, that's all flash, no cash. She didn't net it in the back of the net. That's not even a
What are
goal.
you doing
Pretty.
pulling out Ryan? Pretty.
Are you ready for some debate? Because Bobcat Breakdown starts right now.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Bobcat Breakdown QBSN Takeover Edition. I'm your host, Catroina Jablonski, the social media manager, and alongside me is photography manager Anthony Davila and my fellow social media manager Anthony Rossi. Guys, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. I think it's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, I mean, we went on Sports Pause together. Good to be back on desk, and it's good to be with my coworker, Kat.
Well, let's just get right into our debate. The Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team started ECAC play this past week and opened up their season with a loss against the Yale Bulldogs and an overtime win against the Brown Bears. How panicked are you guys for this upcoming season after the team starts to conference play? Davila, since you and I both took the trip down to Brown, why don't you start us off?
All right. I honestly am not panicked at all from this start in conference play. They started ECAC play 0-2 last year also with a 4-2 loss to Dartmouth and a 3-0 loss to Harvard. So they were shut out to Harvard last year too. This year they're 1-1, so they're a step up. Honestly, they're better. They have a win this year, which is a better start than what they had last year. They were outscored 7-2 last year, and this year they outscored 7-6, which is a better margin than what they were outscored last year. I'm interested to see what you have to say, though.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not really concerned. I think they're going to be fine. They have a big opportunity, not this weekend. I mean, this weekend is a big opportunity against Boston University, ranked opponent, prove themselves. But I mean, in the next couple weekends, I think that they're going to have a pretty solid weekend against Clarkson and St. Lawrence, because that's the teams that they struggle with the most on the road. They have them at home, so they can get a little bit of confidence against them. Then after that, RPI and Union, they're a little bit of a weaker team within the ECAC. But before that, you have Holy Cross and Stonehill. Holy Cross, you have a little bit of a rivalry with the Bobcats do, and then Stonehill, they should blow them out of the water. And then it's kind of weird how the ECAC schedule and the schedule for the men's ice hockey team really is. They have ECAC after this weekend, and then they have to wait till December to the next game. Then they have to wait till January. So it's a big break, a lot of time to reset, regroup, and Rand Pecknold can kind of nail home the details for the team.
Well, keeping on the ice, what aspect of the men's hockey team do you guys feel held them back this past weekend? Rossi, let's keep it going on with you.
I mean, you mentioned that they scored a lot to start off ECAC play. I think it's still a problem, though. The offense is definitely a problem. They are scoring at a significantly lower rate than last year. Prior to the Brown game, the team scored 7 goals in their last 4 games. That's not including shootout goals. That is not that good, especially against Merrimack, UNH, teams in the Hockey East that you normally beat year in and year out. And you look at the top 6 players and points in the team, they're all rookies. Matthew Lansing's up there. Ethan Wittenbach, who leads the team with 12 points. And then newcomer Will Gilson is also in the top 10 in points. He has played 3 less games than the entire rest of the Bobcats, and he's in the top 10. You need to have a lot more scoring depth if you're the men's ice hockey team, and you need it quickly, because Boston University this weekend, they will punish that big time. They play fast, physical, and aggressive like most Hockey East teams.
You see, I'm just a little confused how you're going to go with offense when the puck needs to stay out of the net to win a game. And that's just not been happening so far with the men's ice hockey team, as their goalies are sub 900 save percentage on the year. And I believe that it's just the big problem. Silverstein versus Yale was a 19 saves, 3 goals against, and he had an 863. And Matej Marinov did the same exact thing. 2 out of 3 of the losses to teams that they lost to this year in regular time, they lost by 4 goals or more. So in total, you need to keep the puck out of the net and not allow other teams to score to win games.
I think everything's kind of a problem with the team right now. They're not really consistent. Goaltending, I think, is the least of their issues, though. If the goalies are playing bad, it's normally on the defense, honestly. It's the defense that are not really keeping the puck out of the front of the net. Like, the goals at Yale this past weekend, there was, like, a couple that maybe were Silverstein's fault. But honestly, the defense has to clear pucks out of the front of the net. They have to make sure that the clean breakouts are happening, and that's how the offensive goals will happen. So it's kind of a struggle around the whole team. But, I mean, I think the defense more importantly.
While
than
I
the
can
goalies.
see your point, Quinnipiac is out shooting opponents this year by 100 shots.
Okay, but they're not putting them in the back of the net.
But
they may be generating the shots, but
defense
you
is
have to
not
put the puck
allowing
in the
shots.
net.
So the other teams have 237 shots. Quinnipiac has 387.
They have like 40
That's a
plus.
100-shot margin.
They had 40 plus
But
against
that's an
Yale, and they
100-shot
put 2
margin.
goals in.
That's an 100-shot margin. The goalies need to be better. If you're only seeing 21 and a half shots a night, you need to stop at least 20 of those. You need to have a plus 900 save percentage to be a good goalie in the league. To go into the league and go to the NHL, you need to have a plus 900 save percentage, and that's not happening right now at Quinnipiac.
Again, like I just said, if you're putting that many shots on goal, I understand what you're saying with the amount of shots they're getting, and they have to stop those. But again, the amount of shots that they're taking too. Both of these things are a major problem. But like I said, I think the offense will be one of the main things that they have to work on going forward.
Well, guys, that was some great debate, but now we have to head to our first commercial break. But when we return, we will hear from QBSN Chairman Luke Sennett and color commentator Ben Basillo as they analyze tonight's matchup for men's basketball versus Yale, and later be joined by some other members of our QBSN Executive Board to hear some of their hottest takes. Stay with us.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Guys! We had to make a commercial for #that right now. What do?
How long do we have? We only had 2 months to do this.
We could explain that it's a pop culture news show that covers everything from movies, music, and video games.
Yeah, and we can also talk about how there's pre-recorded segments that vary from reviews to in-depth discussions.
We should also mention that it broadcasts live every Monday at 7 p.m. on q30tv.com/watch.
I think that covers everything. Did you guys get that down?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown. I'm alongside Ben Basillo, and my name is Luke Sennett. And Ben, Yale men's basketball is in town tonight. The Bobcats hunkered down and played some great defense against CCSU last week. What did they do right to shut down the Blue Devils offense?
Well, they played very physical. The Bobcats played smothering defense. They forced 9 turnovers, 8 steals, 4 of which coming from Amari Monroe. He's going to be the defensive catalyst that makes or breaks the Bobcats game against Yale. They defended the three-point ball extremely well. CCSU shot 4 of 23 from behind the arc. So if Quinnipiac wants to keep that up and a win against Yale, that's what they need to do.
Yale had a great opener themselves, blowing out Navy 97-68. How do the Bulldogs keep that firepower throughout the season?
Well, they got to continue to move the ball around. All these three-point shots that Yale hit against Navy were mainly open. They shot 12 of 26 from behind the arc. So in Hamden tonight, they got to continue to move the ball around, try to get these open shots around the arc.
And all that ball movement, they're going to have to trust their guys. But let's talk about some specific guys. There's a lot of star power out tonight, but give me your key players from each team to look out for.
So Amari Monroe is going to be the defensive catalyst in this game. He had 4 steals last game against the Blue Devils. He's got to strap up against guys like Yale senior forward Nick Townsend. He shot 4-6 from behind the arc against Navy and was a 48% three-point shooter last year for the Bulldogs. So that's going to be the make-or-break matchup tonight.
Going to be huge, and I'm very excited to see that. And for this game and all Quinnipiac coverage, make sure to head over to theqbsn.com and theqbsn.com/listen for all our future broadcasts. But before I leave, I would like to lead off the hot takes. I think that women's basketball will not only make the NCAA tournament, but win their first game in a huge upset. What do you guys think of my hot take?
Well, to be honest, I think that's a crazy take, Luke, because they did not get any better from last year. If anything, they lost their superstar in Gal Raviv, who was a first-year sensation, and she led the team in points. She was a MAC Player of the Year and MAC Rookie of the Year, so that doesn't really help their case at all. They're 1-1 1-2 now because they just lost to St. John's tonight, and they were really close losses in all games, and they were very close wins, and their score margin is just not high this year at all.
Yeah, originally on my slideshow, I had that it's too early to tell, but after tonight, I kind of agree with you. The games that they've been playing so far, they just can't really close it out. And Trisha Fabry was not happy in the presser when I went to that after the game. She was not ecstatic with the way that the Bobcats played because they had a lead. They were up by at least 10, I believe, and they've either choked the games away or almost choked the games away. And tonight was a massive choke for the team, losing by 2 and then not really getting anything to work on that final
I have
play.
a pretty fun stat for you. Going prior to the St. John's game, they gave up 60 points, and now they're giving up, they score 60 points, and now they give up 59.5.
Well, Davila, while I would also love to agree with Luke here, and I think they will make the tournament, I just don't see a win happening for March Madness. But now let's hear from one of our online editors, Patrick Walsh.
Hey guys, my hot take is that after 2 consecutive years of the men's basketball team not making the MAC championship, their streak will continue this year and they won't make the championship for a 3rd year in a row.
I think that they are going to make the championship, but not only make it, I think that they're going to win the MAC championship, and this will be the first year that they're going to go to an NCAA appearance, a tournament appearance. Amari came back this year. He came back for a reason. He has fire and he has passion, and he is going to lead this Bobcat team to an NCAA appearance, not only the MAC championship.
Good to know that we're agreeing for the second straight question. I think that they're making it this year. I don't know if they're going to win it, though. Siena is a really, really good team. I think that they are the best all-around team in the MAC. Keith McKnight has been playing really well. Jaden Zimmerman had 16 in the loss to Yale tonight. Amari was kind of contained by Yale, but they're not really going to see Yale later down the line. So I feel like against MAC teams, especially against the strong competition that they are facing early on, I think that they will probably make the MAC championship.
Sorry. You can go.
Well, I was just going to agree with the both of you because I also disagree with Patrick. I have faith in Tom Pecora to lead the team to a championship appearance. Now, heading to the ice, broadcast manager Spencer Decker is here to give his hot take about the women's ice hockey team.
How's it going, guys? My hot take is that Kaylin Lamarche, who has 19 goals on the season, will break the single-season record for goals, which currently sits at 30. But the team will not make it to the NCAA tournament.
Okay, so I actually have a prop for this one. I brought mittens because I think that half of this take is cold. The cold take is that she will shatter this program record that the Bobcats have, but this hand might be sunburned. I think that they are absolutely making the NCAA tournament. I think that they might win that first game too, depending on if they get matched up in like that first round, either playing like in the regional of the 1, 2, or 3 seed. But this hand's scorching, this hand's cold. What about you?
Well, to be honest, I think us Anthonys think alike because I have the exact same idea as you. I think she's going to shatter the goal record. This hand is really cold. She needs 12 to break the goal record. She's got 20 games to do that.
It's freezing outside. It makes sense why we have these
She
on.
averages 2 points per game. So I think it's just really simple. I think that the facts is that she's going to do it. I also think that they are, hot take, like we said, I think that they're going to make the tournament. I don't know if they're going to win the first round game, but I think they're going to make it. I offer you one more question, though. Do you think she's going to beat the point streak? She needs 33.
Point streak or points record?
Single season points record.
I don't think so. I don't think that she'll break the points record. Right now, she's on pace for 50 goals, which would be tied for second all-time in NCAA history with Kendall Coyne, who plays in the PWHL. She scored 50 back in the 2015-16 season for Northeastern. That's a little bit much, but I think that she'll still break the 30 mark.
Well, while I hate to say it, I have to agree with Spencer here. But now moving to the men's ice hockey team, I think it's time I give a hot take of my own. Despite their rough start to conference play, the Bobcats will make it to Vegas for the 2026 Frozen Four.
Ooh, I don't like where this one's going. I don't think so. I think that they've started off very cold right now, but I mean later on they could make it the Frozen Four. I think they're going to make the NCAA tournament. Definitely do not think that they are going to Vegas, though. Maine's going to be much better later on in the year. Duluth is crazy good. Although I don't like to say it, I'm not really the biggest Michigan fan. I think that they are a really, really good team. And Michigan State, very good team. Porter Martone, very good player. And then Trey Augustine is going to lead that team to national glory.
Well, I think it's getting really warm in here, and the glove
I'll
is
take
going to
my
have to
glove
come
back.
off
Thank you very
again
much.
because I think that they're going to not go to they're going to go to Vegas. I think that this team is very
Really?
similar. I think this team is very similar to the team that won the national championship. It's a very young team. Their superstars are very young. They have a lot of experienced veterans that will need to step up. But if they step up, I believe that they'll be able to do it. Their only problem is goaltending, and if one of them will catch fire, I think they're only up from there.
I don't think so. I don't know about that one. I think I think you both are crazy for that one.
Well, last but certainly not least, we have our magazine editor-in-chief, John Polaro, here to give us his hot take for volleyball.
Hey guys, I'm here to give you your last hot take of the night. My hot take is that star volleyball setter Damla Ganesh is a top 5 athlete in Quinnipiac history.
If we want to talk about scorching takes, this might break the thermometer. There's no shot. With all due respect to Damla Ganesh, I beat Report Volleyball. I think that she's an amazing player. I think that she's definitely within the top 15 in Quinnipiac history. I just don't think that she makes that top 5 list. I'll give you a list of possible top 5 just to prove my point a little bit.
I know you're starting off with Alona Mar.
I am
Really?
actually.
Oh, okay.
Alona Mar is on the list. Devon Tays, Connor Clifton, Yanni Peretz, Colin Graff, Mari Monroe, Matt Blanc, Mackenzie Deweese, Michaela Morris. And that's not even including her own teammate, Ginevra Jovagioni, who I think is a lot more talented. I know it's a little bit difficult.
Well, I gave my own list, so let me.
Okay.
I gave Alona Mar, Colin Graff, Kelly Babstock, Frank Vieira, nicknamed Porky, and Francine Perry
Sorry,
Jones.
what?
Yeah, that's what it said in his.
That's awesome.
Hall of Famer.
That's
Hall
an
of
amazing
Famer.
name.
2 Hall of Famers. Francine Perry Jones, NECC Conference Player of the Year, led the most prominent women's basketball team of all time.
Hey, I like that list a lot. I think that, I gave a list of possible, but who's to tell?
Well, guys, I hate to say it, but I have to agree with Pilato on this one.
You're insane.
Well, now that's all the time we have left for our e-board hot takes. But when we come back, we will be sticking in Burtcon Court to continue to look at the women's volleyball team ahead of their start to the playoffs. Don't go anywhere.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Can't believe you're doing this alone. I've done it before. I remember. You threw your back out. How you holding up? Hand me that board. Nothing wrong with getting help. I'm good. I did it when Felicia left. I'll figure it out. I know you will, but you don't have to do it alone. That's all I'm saying. If I promise to look into it, will you drop it and help me build this fence? Now you need my help. It can be a real pain sometimes, you know that? Mm-hmm.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Here at Sports Pause, we like to have balance between having fun and working hard. Sometimes that competition we cover gets into our producing.
Tune in every Monday night at 9:30 at q30tv.com/watch for all the news, highlights, and more. This is Sports Pause.
Welcome back to Bobcat Breakdown QBSN Takeover Edition. If you are just joining us, I'm Catroina Jablonski, joined alongside Anthony Davila and Anthony Rossi. So the women's volleyball team is set to finish MAC play this week on the road against Niagara and Canisius as they get ready to begin their playoff run next Tuesday. This weekend, they picked up 2 back-to-back straight-set victories over St. Peter's and Ryder. But which player made the most impact this weekend? Rossi, as a volleyball beat reporter, I think it's only fair you start us off.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about somebody that I talked about in the top 5 list. Again, don't think that she is a top 5 player in Quinnipiac history, but Ginevra Jovagioni has to be the player from this weekend. She had 10 kills in both matches. those errors are up there. There's 9 errors compared to her 20 kills, but she was all over the court, and especially coming back into the team, I think that she's made the most impact. She's probably the best player on the team when fully healthy. Still, she's not in fully healthy condition right now, but she's as healthy as she can be, and I think that she's going to help the Bobcats to a possible MAC championship
Well,
this
I
year.
think your answer is good. I'm going to go with Leilani Kaijusta. I think she just played a really all-around game. She had 12 kills and 23 attacks against St. Peter. She had 8 digs. She played a great two-way game. She took over the game. She helped their team reset their arms for the Rider game by stepping up and playing such a key role. She had a 4-point run in the first set, got a block, and she was well-rounded the entire game. And if you're going to combat me by saying she didn't play in the second game,
That's exactly what I was going to combat you
senior
with.
day, so they had to
Yes.
play their seniors, so they had to play
did
the
know
Ganesh
that.
twins.
I definitely agree with you. They definitely did want to play their seniors, but I feel like if you want to prepare Leilani Kai for MAC or for the MAC postseason, you should play her in the Rider game. But I understand Coach Kyle Robinson's decision to rest her.
Well, guys, this past weekend marked the end of both the women and men's soccer team season, with the women's team falling in the MAC semifinals to Canisius in a shootout 2-1, and the men's team losing to Iona 5-0. But I'm wondering which team you guys think had a more successful season this year. Davila, you start.
I'm going to be honest, it has to be men's soccer. I think men's soccer had they weren't expected to win a lot of games, and they came in, they made a low seed in the tournament, which is completely fine, but their season bar was not to where women's soccer was. I think women's soccer had a great season last year. They were 14-5-1 overall. They went 10-2 in conference play, and they just regressed. This year they went 8-3-6, and they were 8-0-4 in conference play. Granted, they didn't lose, but when it mattered and when they needed to win, they didn't against
But they were
Canisius.
undefeated during the regular season. I agree. They didn't win it when it mattered the most, but penalty kicks are almost impossible sometimes to stop if you're a goaltender. They're a little bit easier to kick if you're a player, but it's a little bit difficult as a goalie, and a lot of pressure has to be given to Olivia Jarvis in that game because that's her first year fully keeping for the Bobcats. They had Sofia Lo-Spinosa before, who was pretty much their superwoman for that entire team. But I think that the women's soccer team honestly had a better season than the men's soccer team. This is one that I know that I have a lot of confidence in for the women's soccer team because they lost Courtney Chokel, Victoria Foster, Rachel Roman, Tally Lyon, a lot of players, and they still went undefeated. And they tied Fairfield during the regular season, which they did not do last year.
Well, they're going to be losing a lot of key seniors in the offseason. This season, they came in with the expectation to go to a MAC championship game and win it, and they didn't even get there. While as men's soccer, they lost to a #1 projected team in a preseason poll in Iona. They're the defending MAC champions.
I don't know if they were projected to win the MAC championship because Fairfield was a good team all year long. I think that Fairfield was projected to win the MAC championship. I think Quinnipiac was projected to make it there, but I don't think that Quinnipiac was going to win that MAC championship, or was at least projected to at the start of the year.
Men's soccer went 5-5 in conference play, and they lost to a #3 seed, but that they were the defending champions. Like I said before, they lost 5-0, yes, but I think that the women's team, once again, they had such a higher expectation coming into the season. They had a lot of seniors, a lot of people who have been around for a long time, that been to consecutive MAC championship games. They really needed to win the MAC championship, and they didn't get it. And granted, it was a really hard battle, but they just didn't get over the hump that they need to get over.
I guess we'll just agree to disagree on this one.
Well, guys, it is time for our final commercial break of the night. But don't go anywhere, as when we come back, we will be giving our final roars of the night. Stay tuned.
Reporting from the Grove for Q30 News.
Reporting from the Miller Library for Q30 News.
Reporting from the Mount Carmel campus for Q30 News.
Reporting on Whitney Ave for Q30 News.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and to support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back into Studio 125. It's time for our Final Fours, and I'll start us off. The men's soccer team ended their season this past Sunday, falling to the Iona Gales in the MAC quarterfinals with a final score of 5-0. But in my mind, that is no indication of the season they had completed. Looking back on the past few months, there's just one word that comes to mind: resilience. The definition being the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. As a whole, the team has truly shown their elasticity by coming back from goal deficits and fighting their way into the last available playoff spot for the second year in a row. But senior captain Alex Miller is the true definition of how resilience can push you when times get tough. While the season started out battered in losses, Miller was still determined to push the Bobcats to the end. Even after facing 2 injuries that should have ended his collegiate career, Miller fought back to be able to get back on the pitch and help them secure the final spot in this year's MAC playoffs. It takes a lot to find a leader who could show that kind of resilience in the face of hardship. A leader who can lead both on and off the field, push his teammates to succeed, and chooses grit over comfort daily to show up when it matters most. In a season that was a roller coaster of a ride, the captain held his team until the end. So while the final score Sunday is what will be discussed, analyzed, and ripped apart right now, it is not what will be remembered about this squad in the long run. It's the resilience that was found flowing through all the players being instilled by their captain that pushed them to play their hardest until that final whistle was blown.
This weekend is a very special one for me. Men's ice hockey is playing Boston University, and I have the amazing opportunity to call that game not only for QBSN, but to have it as the Bobcat Game Day call on Saturday. This is without a doubt the biggest game that I've ever got the pleasure of broadcasting, but with all the chances that I'm getting now, it wasn't always that way earlier on in my life. When I played hockey in high school, although I made the varsity team 3 of my 4 years, I was never named as a captain, and I really didn't get major minutes until my junior year. I didn't let that faze me too much because I felt that I would get more opportunities to play when I got to college. Then I was met with the harsh reality of not making the club ice hockey team my freshman year here at Quinnipiac, but even though that didn't work out, it was honestly the best thing to happen to me. Through opportunities that didn't come to me immediately in student media, I still worked my way up and made it to where I am today. In my 2nd year of executive producing for Sports Pause, my 3rd year of social media managing for QBSN, and in my 4th year of being a women's ice hockey beat reporter, I've grown so much from high school, and I can proudly say that I feel that I have earned every opportunity that has come my way. I will close out my time tonight with a quote. Legendary USA head coach Herb Brooks once said to a young group of talented hockey players, "Great moments are born from great opportunities." And that's what I have this weekend for the men's ice hockey game. So for all those that feel like they haven't got theirs yet, just keep working hard, and your time will eventually come, and I know that you will make the most of it.
Every kid has the right to dream. It's what makes childhood so special. The dreams we have give us hope, direction, and a glimpse of who we might become someday. I personally always remember sitting on the front porch of my house, pretending to be a police officer and locking up the bad guys and being the hero, just like my grandfather and his father before him. Both proud police officers who serve their communities with honor and respect. Every time I see the clock strike 11:11, I would make a wish to be just like them someday. Now, our dreams may shift and change in ways we've never imagined, but that doesn't mean we need to stop dreaming. Instead, I believe that means we need to dream bigger and better for ourselves. Go into everything with the mindset that we can do it and nothing is impossible. And if you put your mind to it and work hard every day, good things are to come to you and you will be rewarded. As this show comes to a close, I want all of you to set an alarm or remember that when the clock strikes 11:11 tonight, to make a wish. It will be an extra special one, given that the date is also 11:11, which is a sign of good luck and good fortune. It doesn't matter what you wish for, whether it's being a pirate and sailing the 7 seas, or going to space and discovering a new planet, or even as simple as little me wanting to be like my grandfather. My message is rather simple. Dream big.
Well, that's all the time we have here tonight for Bobcat Breakdown. Thanks for tuning in and spending your evening with us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and X at Q30 Sports and check out our website at Q30TTV.com. Thank you to the producers and everyone working hard behind the scenes. For Anthony Rossi and Anthony Davila, I'm Catroina Jablonski. Have a great night.